On the phone with me now, a gentleman that's been in the music business for many, many decades. He's got a lot of fans, according to our Facebook, because, man, a lot of people come out of the woodwork to hear this interview tonight. Let's bring him on the line now. Not sure where he's at. We'll find out. But we are talking with John EASDALE from DRAMARAMA. John, thanks for being here.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Where are you at?
I'm in Whittier, California.
I had a feeling you were probably in the L.A. area. I didn't know if you were in Cali, but I thought I'd take a chance. I figured.
Yes. I live in Whittier, California now.
Nice. And it is, some people say tomato, some say tomato. It's not DRAMARAMA or DRAMARAMA, right? It's DRAMARAMA.
It's drama.
Okay. I've heard
with drama.
I've heard other interviews.
No, some people, I guess it depends on how you pronounce the word drama.
Or maybe where you're from.
Drama, so
yeah. Maybe where you're from has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Could be, man. So you guys have been around for a while. You've had ups and downs and kind of in and out, but you've got a new album out, and it seems like the band's really making a comeback. I keep hearing the name DRAMARAMA all over the place.
Well, thank you, and yeah, I guess it could be put that way, a comeback of sorts. It's certainly come back to the world of recording. We haven't made an album in a long time.
I know you also got together with the band in 2003 on VH1 for the band's reunited reality show. How was that experience?
Yeah, that's what got us back together. We hadn't actually played together. We stopped doing DRAMARAMA in 1994, and then that TV show VH1's Bands Reunited was. If you're familiar with the program, they basically ambush you. They just kind of show up at your home or your place of business, or and with a camera crew and say, "Hey, you want to get back? You want to get your band back together?"
No pressure.
And we all said yes. We were all happy to do it.
Now, how much of that was like real? Did they really come and surprise you?
Completely, totally, totally real.
That would be fun, man.
It was completely. There was nothing staged as far as that goes. If you see it, you'll see me. I'm sitting in my garage with no shirt on, and I certainly would have had a shirt on if I knew they were coming.
Right? You know what I thought was cool, man? I'm just going kind of random facts here about DRAMARAMA. When the Ellen DeGeneres show was on, and it was Ellen's 50th birthday, they brought a band out to surprise Ellen for her birthday, and the band was DRAMARAMA.
That's us.
How was that experience?
Same kind of thing. It was very much a surprise. They called us basically the day before and said, "We want you to be Ellen's." It was the DJ who was on the show at the time, a guy named Stryker. He was, I guess the show's been on forever, but he was only the DJ for a short time in the middle. He said, "I want to give you to Ellen for her birthday because she always asks me to play your song." I think this was right about when she was getting ready. Same-sex marriage was just starting to become legal and popular, and I think she was getting ready to marry her sweetheart, and so she liked that song and anything, and they called us the day before. They said, "Would you be able to come be on the Ellen show?" And we said, "Sure." And when we did it, we weren't even we had to hide. We weren't allowed to, like, she wasn't allowed to visit us in the dressing room or anything. We weren't allowed. She didn't know we were there until until the curtain opened up during the show.
What a trip, man! That's wild.
Very cool story. I have.
Yeah, we've had a lot of really kind of wacky, lucky things happen to us. In fact, most of the good things that have happened in our career have all been that sort of lottery winning moments. You got to pinch yourself. You couldn't write it better. If you saw it in a movie, you'd say that's not real. That didn't really happen that way.
Sister Tracy, you got something that you needed to say there, my friend?
I did. I had kind of just a question about. I heard that you are a fan of the Dolls, the New York Dolls.
Oh, sure.
And I didn't know this, but in doing some research, that Sylvain actually joined your band at one time.
Well, he's on one of our albums, and we've played on stage with him numerous times. He's gotten up with DRAMARAMA, and actually we got up with Sylvain too.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, no, when in the 90s, I guess, the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Sylvain and Arthur were both living in Los Angeles, the late, great Arthur Kane, and we got to know them.
Wow.
And Arthur actually, there was a benefit for Arthur where he'd gotten beat up or mugged or the story changes, but there was a benefit. So we played. Sylvain got up with DRAMARAMA at that show, and then he ended up playing on our album Hi-Fi Sci-Fi.
So you must know Barbara Kane then.
No, Barbara. I think Barbara was the one who put Arthur in the hospital.
Wow, because she was a guest on this show one time.
Yeah, no, I think they had one of those kind of hot and cold relationships. But yeah, I think at the time that's what like I said, the story varies depending on who you talk to. But it was my understanding that his wife/girlfriend was
That's new to me. I did not know that. Oops.
Yeah, you'd have to. You know what? I could be wrong, but
Okay.
that was the story I remember people's telling me.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Also, that's an interesting tidbit for fans of DRAMARAMA. If you don't know already, back in 2003, the band recorded their version of the Dead Kennedys' California Uber Alice in response to an Arnold Schwarzenegger running for governor. How did that experience work out for you?
Another kind of thing where we did it basically the day before Election Day. We were like, we got to, we couldn't believe it was a possibility that that the Terminator might become our governor at the time. So we wrote quick revised the lyrics and while we were recording, there was like a robocall with Arnold talking, and if you listen to the track, you can hear him talking at the end. Vote for me on Tuesday.
Wow.
And so we dumped that into the track. It was just a little bonus, but yeah, another bit of kismet.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you for that. I love hearing little facts like that. Is Chris Carter still with you guys?
No, Chris has not been a member of the band for a number of years. He did participate in the band's Reunited program, but he didn't continue with us after that. He's a very busy man. He's a DJ on the radio. He does a show called Breakfast with the Beatles, and he's on the Beatles radio station on satellite radio, and he's also on a radio station out here in Los Angeles on Sunday mornings. And he works really hard, and he's the fifth Beatle or the 25th Beatle, or I don't know how many Beatles there are now, but he's.
One of the reasons I brought that up was because I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and I've been listening to him for years do Breakfast with the Beatles, but I didn't know he was the same Chris Carter from DRAMARAMA until just doing research for this interview, to be honest.
Yeah. He started doing that in the years while we were off, the late 90s. I think he started doing the show. I think the show was already on the air in Los Angeles, and he came in as the replacement for a lady who passed away, Deirdre O'Donoghue.
Uh-huh. So, did you have anything, Sister Tracy? I was going to ask something about the new album, unless you had something you wanted to ask first.
Well, I just had a couple questions in general. What is your thoughts on the music scene today? Like, what do you listen to? And, are you really into kind of, going down the rabbit hole of YouTube, or do you tend to listen to the same stuff that you used to?
No, as a matter of fact, I very rarely listen to contemporary music. More and more, I keep going backwards and backwards. So yeah, I did go in the rabbit hole of YouTube, but mostly to find old things, things from the 40s and the 30s, because people just make a video of them putting on their old 78, and playing it on and put that on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go back and then listen to old jazz and blues and country music. It's
great
I find
for
myself
that.
Going back further and further back, kind of seeing where it all came from.
Yeah, we have a segment we do called Roots of Rock, and we play, stuff from the 20s and the 30s, and YouTube's great for that,
It's amazing. I was a big Bowie fan, and in the 70s, and I remember paying like $50 for like a really bad 5th generation transfer of the 1980 Floor Show, which was a especially he did on the Midnight Special, and it was like hard to even look at. And now you can go get it clear as a bell on YouTube.
I know. I'm a big Mark Bolan fan, so same thing. We used to, we'd go far and wide to find as much stuff as you could. Bad old 5th generation video VHS, and now you can. There's so many cool things you can get on YouTube. It is. It's very cool. I hope that we reach a day when artists are all being compensated for those types of things. I don't know how we'll do that, but hopefully we'll.
Yeah, the way it's set up, it's not. I mean, they do pay a portion of a penny, I guess.
Yeah.
It gets back. I don't know if it gets to I guess it gets to the artist somehow through something called the Sound Exchange, and then of course publishing always gets its piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But the numbers, for things like YouTube and Spotify and those things are very, very small.
Yeah, it's not very artist geared. It's not set up for the artist. No. You could get 1 million views on YouTube or 1 million plays on Spotify, and you won't get rich. Yeah, your song, Dramarama, Anything, has several million views on it.
I'm sorry.
The Anything song.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It's got millions of views on it, and it's you just often wonder, wow, I wonder how much of the artist is getting from that. It kind of just makes you feel guilty sometimes. You wonder.
No, it was nice for a little bit because downloads actually, because we own the master for anything.
Nice.
And at one point, when you paid $1 for a download, we ended up getting like 60 or 70 cents out of it, which was a really good deal.
Yeah.
Does that last forever? Does that go on in perpetuity, like forever?
As far as?
I mean, do you keep getting that amount? The same amount?
Well, we would if they still had downloads, but downloads are going away the same way like CDs and 8-tracks.
Bummer.
Wow. Now
it's all Spotify and Pandora and YouTube, things like that. That's the new way to listen to music.
It's like bye cash flow.
Yeah, and it's all changes.
Apple Music and Amazon Music and the streaming services.
Yeah, it changes so quick.
The same with movies and stuff. All the video stores are gone.
It changes so quickly.
Most of the record stores are gone.
It's hard to keep up with it. It's hard to even know what. As soon as you get used to one thing, it changes and it's something else. And technology is just kind of expanding so rapidly that it's hard to keep up with. One other question.
Yeah, well, it's funny, because I had an 8-track of Electric Warrior just to use T-Rex as an example.
Yeah.
And I had the album. Then I had to get the CD. Now you can listen to it on, all these new platforms, and the old music. In a way, it's great because now you can listen to everything. Like we were saying about Mark Bolan, you could watch all of his TV appearances and listen to every one of his records just at the click of a button. Whereas you used to have to search far and wide to find some of that stuff in the 80s.
Yeah, and now vinyl is making a comeback. I mean, I think they sold more vinyl last year than they have in 30 years.
Yep, it actually surpassed CDs.
Yeah, I'm happy about
for the
that.
first time since the 80s.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. So, just one more question I would like to ask. If you hadn't chosen music as, kind of your career, what do you think you might have chosen otherwise?
Honestly, I didn't choose music as a career. I was kind of, we were doing it for fun and for, just because we loved it so much.
Sure.
We worked day jobs and and spent our money to go into the studio and make records of our own, mostly because it wasn't the kind of music we like the New York Dolls, for instance, and T-Rex and stuff like that. It wasn't what we were hearing on the radio, you know.
Sure.
It was, especially back east, the New York City had a really not a good rock and roll radio station at all. A lot of Billy Joel, and I know people love Billy Joel, and he's
top 40. I get you.
You know, but at any rate, we weren't trying to sound like Billy Joel, and we weren't, what was playing on MTV. It wasn't what we were into, so we started making our own records for that reason. And just, out of the blue, we were just really lucky and
thrown into the music business.
Our records started getting played on the radio after we put it out in France, and it wasn't like a choice to become a musician or a singer, other than it was a personal choice. But it wasn't like, I'm gonna make it, man. I'm gonna make it big, and I'm gonna make a living. It's a very difficult thing to make a living being a musician.
Absolutely. It sure is. Well, we're really glad that you took the time to come on the Church of Rock tonight, because
I've got a question.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Speaking of music and in this career, you've got your 7th album, I think, unless I'm wrong, that came out this year, and it's called Color TV.
Uh-huh.
And that is your newest album. So what should we know about that?
Absolutely.
Well, it's just, continuing the story of Dramarama. The 3 of the 4 original members are still in the band. It was myself and the 2 guitar players and Chris, the bass player, who we were talking about a couple minutes ago, originally, and the 2 guitar players and myself are still together. In fact, the 3 of us, we all graduated high school together. And
wow.
We're all friends and brothers, and
very cool.
We've known each other for many, many years.
So Color TV,
and so this is just a continuation. Hopefully, the music is it's a new record, but it's songs that I've written over the last 20 years or so.
Nice.
And it sounds like Dramarama, and we play rock and roll music, 2 guitars, bass, drums, sometimes little keyboards here and there, but not too much,
And you also sent us a new tune, which thank you, by the way. It's called Up to Here. And I guess this is where we'll probably wrap up the talking portion of the chat. But before we play it, what can we know about the song Up to Here? Is it about anything in particular?
No, it's just about the state of the world and all the things that drive me nuts, just,
How long is the song?
3 minutes and 21 seconds.
It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds of me. I
was joking.
The chorus is just. I'm surprised we haven't had it up to here.
Nice. John EASDALE is our guest. You're at the Church of Rock radio show at KSKQ. John, of course, the vocalist for Dramarama, kind enough to make some time for us tonight to chat with us on our little show. John, thanks a million, man, and we wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, and we hope to talk to you down the road.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys, and good luck and best of everything and continued success with the show.
Okay, thanks so much, man, and we'll roll into a tune by Dramarama, and it is called Up to Here. Thanks again, John. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Not at all, man. Thank you.
Take care.